Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF. It is Wednesday, January 15th, and it is 7:31. And I know I'm live on my page versus my group. But I have some super fun projects to share with you tonight, and figured if I go live on my page, more people are likely to see it. And then I'll mention that from here on out, I go live on in my group, so you can join. So I'm just going to pull this up on my iPad and be like Dina from the Creativity Cave. Got my Stampin' Lips on. Super dry. So I hope everyone is having a great week so far. Hard to believe it's Wednesday already. So I did not know until yesterday that there's an 8-second delay on Facebook. I mean, I always knew there was a delay. I didn't know it was 8 seconds. So I think part of that is why I can never find my Facebook Live when I'm looking for it. Because I gave it a minute this time, and here I am. So, turn my volume down. Oh, I just realized I have to do something here. If you wouldn't mind sharing this, that would be fantastic. I'm gonna do so myself, and then I have a prize to give away for last week. It's not letting me share it. Sorry, just pulling this up here. There we go. So I'm just going to share this to a couple of groups that I belong to, and then I will draw for last week's sharing prize. I don't think I can share it to that one. Let's try this one. I think that one. That ought to be good. Okay, so I need to pull up last week's. It's kind of been a little crazy since I got home today, so I apologize. I probably should have had these names all ready to go. I can't wait for you to see my projects tonight. Hi, Lena. Thank you for watching. Just gotta pull this up here. It's so bright. I feel like I'm like looking at the sun. Okay, so last week, oh, that's 4 weeks ago. 1 month ago. Let's see all videos. So I am just in the process of drawing for last week's sharing prize. So if you wouldn't mind sharing it yourself, sharing it, coming back and saying that you've shared it in the comments, because that is how I know that you've shared it. If you don't do that, the privacy settings usually do not let me check to see if you have actually shared it. So please do come back and say shared. It's going to take an eternity. Okay, so the prize for sharing last week, sorry, it's like out of my reach, is a package of the heart doilies. These are so stinking cute, and I saw a fantastic video idea today, so I'm going to be doing that soon. Where is last week's? I think it was that one. Nope, that was not last week. Why aren't they in order? I had forgotten for a moment which one it was. Okay, let me do this after while you're busy watching what I'm doing. Hi Sandy, hi Jenny. You're not late at all, Jenny. Just getting started. I'm just trying to determine last week's sharing winner. So it is for a package of the heart doilies. There are two colors in there. I believe there's 24 altogether. And I have used it on one project, but it's a project I can't show you yet. You'll be seeing it soon. I think the only housekeeping items I have are I have kept my Tropical Oasis Creativity Without Borders class open. Hi Chandra, thank you for watching. So I have kept it open. It did not do as well as I had hoped, and it's such a fun class. So I want to leave it open because, I mean, I've already done all the work of designing it and all of that. So if you are wanting to get your hands on that, you don't have to purchase the bundle. You can just purchase the tutorial. And yeah, so all the details are on my blog. I cannot find last week's video. Where is it? Okay. Hi Pam, thanks for watching. Jenny, I think even if you had ordered them, they're so great that you're going to want to have more and more and more. Okay, so Creativity Without Borders is still open. And I have, for my local people, I have a class coming up on February 1st that is a collaboration with Pampered Chef, and everything is all set. I am so excited for this class. It is going to be baking and crafting and so much fun. There's a super cute, well, at least 2 projects that we're going to be making. One is dressing up, kind of a take-home gift, and I can't wait. So if you are local and interested in attending that, just head on over to my Facebook event and click that you're going, and that's it. Oh, the mitten-shaped state of Michigan. Hi, Jackie. Thank you for joining. Okay, this is not cooperating, so you know what? I'm not going to waste your time looking for this. I will post after I am no longer live, and I will tell you who the winner is. And then going forward, I'm just going to write them down as I see them, and we'll be all set. So someone will be winning those heart-shaped doilies, and I will post it as soon as we're done. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to flip this around so you can see what I'm doing. My desk may be messier than you've ever seen it, but so worth it. There's some creativity going on here. So I'm going to flip this around. I'm just going to cover up the camera, and I'll be right back. Oh, I wish so too, Jenny. Okay, one more light. So these are the 2 stamp sets that we are going to be playing with tonight. These are both host stamp sets. So in the back of the mini catalog on page 73 is Make a Splash. And how cute is this? I couldn't wait. This wasn't one that we could pre-order, so I couldn't wait. And I finally cracked it open this morning to have a play with it because it was one of my bingo prizes. Thank you, Pam. It was one of my bingo prizes, and one of my ladies that won it asked if the snow globe domes would work with it. And I am happy to say that yes, they do. Now, I'm not going to make this one tonight because it was a bit of a pain, and I think it would take too long. But the one thing I'm going to tell you is it works with the Still Scenes bundle, but make sure you use your embossing buddy around the adhesive part. I did, but clearly I did not do enough because look how many sequins are stuck in the side there. And this is a combination of the Celebration sequins and the In Color, the Woven Threads sequins. But look at that fish. Isn't he cute? So I'm going to make a card using that tonight, but it's going to be a different one. And then the other host stamp set that I know everyone is just itching to get their hands on was available as a pre-order to demonstrators, and I didn't get it during that period because I thought the price point was a little high for a host stamp set. But then when I realized it has to be a $375 order to get this stamp set, it kind of puts it out of reach for some people. So what I would like to suggest as the easiest way to get this is host a party, because then you're not paying the $375 to get it. Your friends and family are helping you get there. So host a party with me. I have lots of dates available. I'm not doing my weekly Saturday classes at the moment. So if you would like to have a party for you, your friends, coworkers, neighbors, whatever, then just send me a message and we can set that up. I am so excited to say that I actually have a party at my work. So I had offered a craft after work, a crafter work event at my workplace before the holidays, and given the timing, it wasn't well attended. I mean, it was the last day before we went, or second last day before we went on our closure. So it wasn't a lot of, sorry, Jenny, I'm just trying to see what's the pre-order. Sorry, I was just looking for a clip that I had on me earlier. So anyways, there were a few people that attended, and we thought, okay, well, we'll do one around Easter, and it'll be better attended because it's not the craziest time of the year. And I just found out today that we are going to do a Valentine's Day one, and it's going to be over the lunch period, and people don't have to pay themselves. Our social committee at work is going to do that. So I am so excited. We're going to do like a super fun Valentine's Day class for this. So I'm so excited. So, like I said, if you want to get your hands on these, consider hosting a party. Doesn't have to be a ton of people. You could have just a couple good crafting friends that help you get to that point, and then you can get your own little ladybug stamp. Now, if you are placing a $375 order and wondering where the host code or how you get your ladybug stamp set, you have to put in the number in the host code, like in the Stampin' Rewards. So enough said about that. So what I did was, when I finally got my hands on the dies, the stamp set, I also purchased the dies. This is going to be part of the Celebration Coordination release, and that will be available February 4th. February 3rd or 4th. I know Jenny says the 4th. I'm pretty sure that's when it starts. So there are some adorable dies. It cuts out the flower. It actually will cut out the flower separately. So you can cut out this one, but then you can also die cut another flower just to raise it up. It cuts out all four of the ladybugs. It cuts out some grass. There's this adorable little like dashed line to show movement. Not sure what that little guy is. Some leaves. It's adorable. So it's worth every penny. It's on demonstrator pre-order right now. And that being said, hi Donna. I have welcomed a couple of new team members to my Crafted AF team since the start of Celebration. And one of the ways you can get your hands on these dies is to join my team if you're in Canada. If you're not in Canada, you can't join my team, but you can join your own demonstrators team. Jenny, I have the DSP too. Let me see if I can find it. I'll give you a sneak peek if you haven't already seen it. So if you have any questions about purchasing the starter kit, then just send me a message. I know there are so many questions. There's actually a page on my website that answers a lot of those questions, but I'm always happy to answer any questions because I know people don't enter into this lightly. I know I didn't. Now, I went into it knowing that I was going to be doing it as a business, but I know there are a lot of crafters that think, oh, well, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to hold classes. I'm not going to sell it. You don't have to. You can get it strictly for your own discount, and you can use it for as long or as short a period as you want. You can't go wrong. Barbara, are you talking about my name? Stamped AF. So one is the slang for stamped as bleep, and then the other way to look at it is stamped AF as my initials, Ashley Pfeiffer. Okay. Just grabbing some paper. Okay, so this is the Celebration Coordination paper that Jenny was just talking about. So this goes with the tulip bundle. All of these are double-sided. It's a fantastic weight. So this is another thing that is only available to demonstrators right now. This will go live to customers on February 3rd or 4th. So this coordinates with the Thoughtful Blooms or the Small Blooms punch. And then there's that gorgeous rainbow on the other side. There's these fabulous hearts, which coordinate with the heart punch from the Heartfelt bundle. I can't remember what the punches are called, but they come in a pack of 2. So hearts on one side, this lovely like petal pink plaid on the other side, and then these umbrellas. They're so cute. My under my umbrella bundle arrives tomorrow, and I cannot wait to play with it. So you can punch those out on this paper, but then there's also the raindrops on the other side. So some coordination products that are just fantastic. Okay, so let's get our craft on. Do you want to see ladybug or fish first? I'm not going to give you a ton of polls tonight because I have everything all planned out. Just tell me which one you want to see first, and I will get on it. And while you're deciding, if you haven't already joined my Pretty AF group with Tiffany Almeida, go head on over after my live tonight and just request access to that. Our group is free for the month of January. After that, it's $15 Canadian or US. And you get basically the equivalent of 4 full classes in a month. There's prize patrol, there is creative challenge, there is virtual swaps. So much goodness going on. And tomorrow night, I am doing my first live class in the group, and I am using the Bonanza Buddies suite. And I have so many ideas, so many projects that I had to narrow it down to try and figure out what I was going to use. So you've got nothing to lose. If you don't want to continue with a group come February, then just leave the group. But you're getting free ideas and I was going to say fact sheets, project sheets, and the ability to win prizes is phenomenal. So that's Tiffany and I, Pretty AF. Head on over after. Oh, I'm out of breath. Okay, 1, 2, 3 for the ladybug. And 1, 2 for the fish. Ladybug it is. The little ladybug. For those of you that have just popped in, here's the first card that I did with this Make a Splash. This is not the one I'm going to do tonight, but just so you know, the snow globe domes do work. You get a little bit of fishbowl on either side, but they do work. Oh boy, I'm out of shape. I'm out of breath just from talking. Hi, Anne. Thank you for joining. Okay, so here is my little ladybug card. Oh, yes, Jenny, that too. In the Pretty AF group, if you are a member of our group, you will get, I'm not sure what this shadow is over here. You also get a birthday card and a gift in your birthday month. So, yeah, there's that too. Okay, so this is my little ladybug card. Now, forgive some of the going out of the lines. I was literally finishing this like a minute before I went live. So many ideas. So little time. Okay, so it is a Z fold card, a Z fold, and I have used the Peaceful Poppies DSP. Ah, thanks, Pam. So I wanted to use this little quartet of ladybugs for something, and I googled little ladybug and I saw someone that used this paper as the background, because initially I had thought, okay, well, I'll stamp my background, but you guys are going to be here all night if I do that. So I thought, okay, well, I can stamp the flowers from Grace's garden and just do a quick coloring. The weight doesn't really match. So that one's a heavier line, that one's a little bit lighter. Thank you, Donna. So then I thought, okay, well, let's do painted poppies, and I'll just stamp a whole bunch of poppies in the background and do that same coloring, like just some quick coloring. And I'm like, oh, that's going to take a long time too, and then I'm going to have so much white left over. And then I thought, let's just use the DSP. Stamp the flower, stamp the ladybugs, do some coloring, and you got yourself a card. It still fits into an A2 sized envelope, requires no extra postage, and Tell me you wouldn't be wowed if you got that card. Now you might be thinking, okay, well there's no place to write your message, but you know what? People are going to have this on display. You've got this whole back area to write a message. You could write like an essay on there. So let's make this. It's really not complicated. I have to remember my measurements. I'm going to start with, thank you so much, my dear. Oh, I'm out of breath. This is pitiful. So much talking, so much to say. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Trimmer so you can see everything I'm doing. So we are going to start with a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock. Now, I don't know if you know this about me, but I have 4 paper cutters right here. So this one, I've got a Carl cutter that's just over there. I've got my little baby trimmer that came as part of the pre-order, which is now coming to new demos. If you sign up during Celebration, you will get this little baby cutter with the DSP sampler and a free stamp set of your choice. And then I also have my Tim Holtz one, and I love this one because it goes to 6 inches. It's a guillotine. Love it. My only complaint about this one, while I love how mini it is, going to 4 inches doesn't do me a whole lot of good. So I keep these 2 stacked over here, this one just to my left, and then my Carl cutter on another table. So, good news, the replacement blades are in for the Stampin' Trimmer. So if you would like to get a 4-pack of those, they are available. So I'm going to cut at 4 1/4 by 11. We can set this piece aside. I always like to give it a little bit of a press there to get rid of any ridges from cutting it. So now I've parked my cutting blade at the bottom. We are going to score this at 2 3/4. Turn it around because right now it's on the wrong side. I guess it doesn't really matter. 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So then we can fold that. So we're gonna do this like a normal top folding card, and then we're gonna fold this one back. And we'll take our bone folder and just burnish those edges. Pressed a little too hard there. No harm, no foul. A little bit of spit on the finger will fix it. Okay, so that is our card base. Now I'm going to take a piece that is, we're going to take this scrap, which could be another card base, but I'm going to cut it at 1 1/4 by 11. Now we can just set that aside for something else. Actually, we're going to keep this for our scrap for stamping on. Okay, so give it that nice little press to get rid of those ridges, and then park your cutting blade, and we're going to again score it 5 1/2, 2 3/4. So this time it's going the other way. So we're going to fold that one down, this one up, which is pretty much what we did the first time around, but this one is going to go that way. So these are exactly the same size and measurements. Scoring measurements, I mean. Size and measurements, kind of the same thing, huh? Okay, and then I'm also going to use a piece of real red cardstock. This is just a scrap right now. And I'm going to do that at 1 1/2 inches so that I've got a mat on either side. Now, I think this mat is going to be a little thinner than this one was, but no biggie. Okay, the cutting blade is parked at the bottom. Scoring again at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. Those are really the only measurements you need to remember. So now fold it back on itself, come back this way. And we are done with that. So now what we can do is just glue this. We're not gluing that piece yet. Use your adhesive of choice. Now we're only putting, oh, never mind. We're putting this on the whole thing. I don't usually mat this piece. For those of you that happen to be new here tonight, because I shared it to a different group, I would love for you to like my page. You'll catch me live each week, Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Thank you, Jenny. I'm trying to remember to look up or talk louder so people can hear me. Okay, so there is that part done. Just give it a score because you've now got the thickness of 2 pieces of cardstock, and I am using Whisper White Thick for the card base. So there we go. I actually like it better with that smaller mat. Let me know which one you prefer, the 2-inch or the 1.5. Okay, so we can set that aside, and I don't think I have enough of this left from my sampler pack. I have that piece. So this is the remnants of the sampler pack. If I hadn't already started it, we could do that, but it's too late. So if you don't have all of the DSP from the catalog, then this is a great way to try it out. It's fantastic. I agree. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Okay. 2 things to share as I have this out. So I did a paper share, and I mean, I participate in my paper share because it's a great way to get a small sampling of all the paper. Now, if you head over to my website, you will see that there is a free download for all of these sheets. So it is basically the case for a full mount, like a wood mount case. And what I did this time was I glued the ends together, and it's basically like a partial envelope, and it keeps all of the scraps and the pieces in there. So I have one for each of the papers in the new mini catalog. I did a similar thing for my holiday catalog, but I didn't glue this part, and everything kind of met in the middle. So this way it stays contained, and it's perfect. When I exported my PDF, I didn't have Tropical Oasis in there, so don't have that sheet. I will, but look at this. It all fits in perfectly. It closes. It's organized. I always cut my paper to 4x6 so that I love it, chop it, use it. Okay, so now, should we do the smaller flowers this time? Or these big ones? Big or small? I kind of like that the small ones have that black outline. That would work. Jenny, I don't know if those are in the print lab. I designed it, and I've done this now for the annual, the holiday, and this new mini catalog. So, oops. This is one that I did. So when it's for the annual catalog, it gets its own full mount case because it's active for a year. When it's just a holiday or a short-term one, they all go in one case. So it has the name, it has all of the colors on there, it has the image, it's the image again, and then all the colors written out. Okay, we have 1 small, 2 big. Lena, you can just go to Stamped AF. I think it's the 2nd blog post from the top. And there is a spot on there that says download. If you're having any issues, just send me a message and I can send you the link. Big, big, small, small. We're tied. Next one takes it. Oh, we have another big. Okay, let's just stick to what I had done the first time. Because I think I might have enough that I don't have to cut more pieces. Uh-oh. Someone's home. Oh, if you were watching me last week, I'm just going to shut my door here. I think it was last week I mentioned that my daughter was wanting to move and it was breaking my heart. It might have been 2 weeks ago. So she decided yesterday, she's in Calgary right now with a friend. She's decided that she's going to fly home tomorrow and pack up her stuff and move. So she's ripping off the Band-Aid. It's going to hurt, but it's going to hurt no matter when she goes. It's what she needs, so... yeah, so there's an update on my data. I want to show you two things before I start putting this together. At my bingo on the weekend, we did this cute little make and take, and I can't take credit for this. It was actually Tiffany she's pretty in paper crafts, but she's also my cohort for Pretty AF. So she did this, and she actually put a sentiment on there, but we were thinking at bingo, if you're keeping it for yourself, and most of us did, you don't need a sentiment on it. This DSP does all of the work, right? Okay. Thank you for sharing, Linda. Hi. Meow at puppy. Thank you for sharing, Debbie. Susan, I think it's going to be hard all the time, but there's FaceTime. There's so many things, right? Okay, so for this, I used that crinkled seam binding ribbon, and I actually colored it with the colors of the DSP. So this is going to be in my craft room for the next year, and I am in love with it. Okay, now one more thing I wanted to show you. So I know, Pam, it's Tailored Expressions that does them. Now, I was able to get them through my local scrapbooking store. One of the ladies had a few, so she was able to sell me one. But yeah, Tailored Expressions, and I believe they're back in stock now. So I know that there's probably a bunch of these things out there. I designed this one myself. Kelly Atchison, my cohort for Creativity Without Borders, had shared her version last week. But I decided I needed mine to be a little bit different. She didn't have any outlines for the squares or the circles, and I decided I need that. So these are all of the designer series papers with the coordinating colors and the cardstock. So for Peaceful Poppies, these are all the colors. So I am going to put this on my website as well. It will be a free download, and I just printed it on, it's not regular weight copy paper, but it's just like, I definitely wouldn't use Stampin' Up! Cardstock. But it's a great way to see what colors go with it. So I will put that on my website ASAP. Now, let's get down to this. So we need a standard size mat. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to bring in this little paper cutter. So 4 by 5 1/4. And then we need two that are... was it 2 3/4? So we need two that are 2 1/2 by 4. And unfortunately it means cutting 2 pieces, but it's worth it, right? This one I'm going to cut down the 4 inches first, and then 2 1/2. Is that right? Yep. Okay, and then I'll still use those scraps for other things. I have started sharing my Facebook videos on YouTube again. If that is something that you want me to keep doing, please let me know. It doesn't take a whole lot of work, but I don't want to do it if people aren't enjoying it. The fish card won't take long. The glue is almost empty. Whoops. Okay, so just glue these puppies on down. So the silver lining in my daughter moving is that her puppy isn't going right away. Thank goodness, because I don't know what I'd do if they both left at the same time. My heart would break. So this way I have some time before Mika leaves. Not that that makes my daughter leaving any easier, but at least it's one heartbreak, not two. Okay, so there is our base. Beautiful, isn't it? Now what we can do is we can start stamping our little ladybugs. So we need I thought it was H, a G block and memento. You could probably just color these with Stampin' Write markers. It's not necessary to do them with blends. Now, I don't know how straight this is going to be because, of course, my head can't be right over it like it was when I was doing this earlier. So if you're expecting perfection, you're going to be disappointed. Oh, thank you, Jenny. One of these times I might try using my earbuds from my iPhone and using like the microphone on there to see if that makes a difference. I don't know if it will, but I'm willing to give it a try. Okay, so I've got the flower mounted on this huge block. We're not doing a whole lot of coloring to this flower, but I still want it in memento. And then I've got these two little ladybugs. So one is flying and one looks like it's up to no good. I don't know what this little ladybug is doing, but I don't think it's good. Naughty little ladybug. Thank you, Pam. Okay, so that is it for the stamping. I didn't actually put a sentiment on here. I'm not sure that it needs it, but if we want, maybe we'll do it on this one. You could definitely have something running along there. The sentiments are happy birthday, hey lady, you're so sweet, thinking of you, spread your wings and fly, you're cute as a bug, and thank you. I'd kind of like to have one that's long. So for my bingo on the weekend, I used this stamp set with the dies, and it was a water bottle tag, and I wish I had a picture of it, but I used all 4 of the different ladybugs in each one, like 4 different tags, and I used Hey Lady on it. They were really cute. I don't know if it makes anyone else think, I don't know if it's a Simpsons episode or what, but there was something where they're like, hey lady. Makes me laugh every time. Oh, that's cute, Jenny. What? Did I turn up the speakers on the bottom right hand? Pam, are you talking to Jenny or to me? Is there a way I can turn this up? I don't know if I can. I still have not figured out how to zoom in. I'm guessing it's an Apple thing because I have seen other people zoom in during their lives and I really wish I could. When I do my videos, I always start zoomed, but the problem is I always do the face-to-face introduction and then I can't. I don't want you like looking up my nose or anything. So I don't know how to do it, and every time I Google it, I don't get the answer I'm looking for. But I do think I am able to upgrade in the next 6 months or so. So I am going to get the iPhone 11 because from what I understand, there's 3 different cameras and it's amazing. Okay, so fun fact, I won some money last week and I decided to treat myself to a Gemini Junior. Finally, I actually got it used. It was such an amazing deal. I just couldn't say no. Now, the problem with that is with the Gemini, you have to put your dies facing up. So, of course, I go to use my big shot last night because everyone is sleeping and I don't want to wake them. And wouldn't you know, I put it with the die facing up now. So now my plate says birthday. I'm like, as soon as I did it, I'm like, oh, Gemini Junior, you messed me up. So I am going to run this one through my Gemini because at least I can still do something. Now it does make a little bit of noise. Let me know if it's bothersome. It only takes a few seconds. And I do need to get new plates for this. The woman that I bought it from said she had only used it a handful of times, but I think it's more than that. But they are all very warped. So I'm going to treat myself to some new plates. With the money I saved on this machine, I can do that. Okay, so I'm feeding it through. It'll just take a minute. Now, what I love about this is that I can clean things up while it's doing its work. Love that. Now, it makes a fun little popping sound when it's done, too. Okay, so that is why I'm using tape on everything. I didn't always use tape when I used my Big Shot, but it's because I could see what was happening. With the Gemini Junior, not so much. I have found recently, because it wasn't until recently that I started using it, but Stampin' Up! Washi tape appears to be the best for die cutting. Now, that being said, I haven't tried like purple tape or anything, but I found that when I was using like Scotch washi tape or just cute ones that I had, it would tear the cardstock. This, I mean, I'm pulling very slowly, but I haven't found it ripping cardstock. Ah, thank you, Brenda. So for those of you that have come in since I said it the last time, if you wouldn't mind sharing this, you will go into the drawing for next week, provided you come back and say in the comments that you shared it. Due to privacy issues, privacy settings rather, I can't see if you've shared it. So it'll tell me like 20 shares, but I can't tell who did it. So just come back and tell me that you shared it and you'll be entered to win. This week's prize, just so you know, so you have an idea of what to expect, is the heart doilies. So it will always be something in the $10-ish range or up. Aw, thank you, Susan. I do that with all of mine. Now, this one I haven't prepared. Let me show you one that is... Ooh, I have an idea. So when I get bundles, usually what I do, so this one is a 2-piece one, but it's 2 separate cases. So what I do, what I'm trying to do is put the labels on right away. But I do that, put this one in behind so that it doesn't flop every time I open it. And then there. Now I used to keep my dies on the left side. But I found that because of the weight of them, and especially this one where there's so many dies, every time I opened it, the magnet would be on the bottom like this would be. So I switched it so that the dies are now on the right. So big deal, the stamp set goes back and forth. But I put a magnetic sheet. With this Ladybug one, I haven't had a chance yet, but I will do that. And when I sell them, if and when they retire, I sell them as the bundle. It goes with the magnetic sheet. I find this helps me remember that I have the dies, because if I put them separately, I may forget that I have them. Now, the only exception to that is, well, there's a few. So big sets like this, where 1, they're not going to fit in a stamp case, or 2, I only have the dies. So I didn't get... Actually, I did end up getting the Spooktacular Bash, but these Ornate Frames dies have carried forward. The stamp set did not. And then I have all of my my rectangles, my circles, my squares, ovals, all of them like that. And then alphabets and, letter dies. So this is actually 2 different sets. There's one on this side and one on this side. Otherwise, I forget that I have them and I won't use them. So there's a tip for you. Okay, so we're done. Oh, the thing I was going to tell you about this. Do you remember that I lost a die in this set? So there was this small poppy that I lost. I went through my kitchen garbage like 3 different times. I went through my craft room garbage, I don't know how many times, but it had been emptied probably 2 or 3 times in the week that it took for me to realize I was missing it. So if you watched my live last week, I mentioned that I lost it and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't want to have to purchase the bundle all over again for that one die. So I contacted Stampin' Up! And they said that they would send me the die, which is fantastic, right? So it arrives today, and it's not just the one die that I'm missing, it's the whole dang thing. How lucky am I? So now, I mean, I wish I had a picture of it. I did really cute, tiny keepsake boxes using this where only one flower was cut out. It's really hard to explain. But anyone that was at my bingo had a little Lindor treat with part of this on their box. So now I could do so many flowers at the same time. Couldn't believe it. I was expecting this die all by itself, but no, they sent a whole new pack. Margaret, I get my magnetic sheets at the Dollar Tree. It's $1.25, and let me see. Oh, I still have a package. They are 6 by 9. So what I do is I actually cut it in half at 4.5, and it fits. I can do 2 different sets of dies that will fit in the case. So I love that. Now, that being said, I have tried it where I just put a little strip if it's a smaller set. Does not work as well. And I will show you an example of that. Tasteful Textures has 3 dies. See? Every time I open it, it falls off. So I would suggest putting a whole piece in there, even if it's just for a couple. Dollar Tree. I am in Canada. I don't know if that makes a difference for you, Susan, but Dollar Tree has them in their crafting section. It's $1.25 and you get 2 stamp sets done. $1.25. You can't go wrong. Okay, enough of my yipping. So we're going to color. I'm going to grab that scrap of paper that I had before that I don't know where it went. I really don't know where it went. Okay, I'll grab a different scrap of paper. When you're coloring with alcohol markers, it's always a good idea to use another piece of paper. Okay, so I'm using Real Red for the Ladybugs. I'm using basic black, light basic black for their little arms and feet and that part. And you know what? I tried coloring, these ones are like flesh colored. I tried coloring them a dark gray because that's how a ladybug would be, right? But they looked ridiculous. So we're using ivory. I also have light and dark smoky slate for their little bellies. And then I have dark Mango Melody for the flower center, and let's just do that now. You could color this flower to be real red so that it looks like it's the same kind of flowers in the background, but time was of the essence. I have Light Pool Party, and I'm just going to outline each of the petals. It doesn't have to be perfect. It actually kind of looks nice if you go loosely. Okay, that's it for the flower. Like I said, you could color it with Real Red or Poppy Parade. This is Old Olive combo pack. Just color the dark on the back side and the light on the front side. As this makes its noise, it reminds me, If you, when you're using Stampin' Blends specifically, but perhaps any alcohol marker, if you hear squeaking, you're pressing too hard. It shouldn't squeak. I know some people are like, it shouldn't squeak. And if you want more depth, just go over another spot again and again until you get the depth that you're looking for. With the ladybugs, I'm just going to do their little hands and feet. I don't know that that's what they're called, but that's what I'm calling them. I'm sure they have some fancy name. Then I like to just color in this part. I know that it's supposed to be like artistic, not colored, blah, 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 but it looks funny to me if it's not. Okay, the last time I did this one, I colored this part black, but I was thinking afterwards it really should have been red. I do the larger amount with the brush tip, and then, this is funny, with my dark real red, the tip is actually pushed in, so it's not as easy to color with, but I do get the control I need. If I try using the brush tip, excuse me, to color this, inevitably I go outside the lines. And yes, we have a color lifter, but it's still tricky to remove red ink. So big part, brush tip, little part, bullet tip. Whoops. See, went out of the line there. I blame it on the fact that the marker is pushed in. My native navy is like that too. And they arrive that way. Still works. Okay, and you can go in and blend that if you want, but what I like to do is just go over those dots. Okay, and then the little belly. Everyone's still there? You've all gone quiet. Are you multitasking, or have I put you to sleep? Something like that. Quick with the ivory. If you feel that this is too dark, you can use the light or dark petal pink. The one thing that I didn't do on this one that I meant to and then forgot was give this little ladybug some cheeks. We can still do that on this one. This is the light Rococo Rose. And if you want to blend it, you can go back over it with the ivory. Okay, that is all the coloring for that. Now, when I did the first card, I did Stampin' Blends. But even with the bullet tip, it's kind of tricky getting those little ladybugs colored without going outside the lines. So, thank you, Nicole. This time I am going to use Stampin' Right markers because I can get more detail. I'm going to put that stuff away later. But instead of black, let's use basic gray. Black is going to be too dark. So I'm just doing their little heads. Remember I said that it looked funny when it wasn't ivory? I felt like these guys needed to be gray. Should we stamp a sentiment on this one? Somewhere in here. I haven't left myself a lot of room, but... Aw, thank you. That's such a compliment. I love that you're intensely paying attention. Okay, so this is Smoky Slate, and I'm just doing these little bellies. Now with the real red. Whoops. First one, and I go out of the line. Thank you for all the hearts. This doesn't have to be perfect. I think the more whimsical it is, probably the cuter it's going to be. But I can't go whimsical now. I've colored them all in thus far. So I had thought I would do this video for my Friday video as I was driving home tonight, and I thought, nah, let's do it live. Okay, sentiment. Let's just do happy birthday. If it'll fit. It's kind of tight. We could do it on this one. Let me show you what it looks like with a sentiment on this one, because on this card I stamped them a little bit higher up, so there's not as much room. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, just gonna do that in Memento. I'm gonna take a big block because it's right there. I know I should store that the other way. Oh, how cute is that? Ah, how cute is that? And then you see it when you open it. Oh, love it. Okay, so we'll leave this one blank. Now when we go to glue this on, you're only going to put glue about 2 3/4 of the way across. I think everybody needs some Ladybug stamps and dies. Thank you so much, everybody. So for those of you that weren't here when I mentioned it before, if you are wanting to get your hands on this stamp set, which is a host stamp set, you can only get it with a $375 order Canadian. Consider hosting a party. Just have a few of your friends get together, do some stamping, some crafting, and you can earn yourself this set of dies. Sorry, this stamp set, and then you can purchase the dies in February. Okay, so there we go. And then for the flower, all I did was I added a little bit of adhesive on the leaf and the whatever the bottom part is. And then we're covering up a ladybug here. You can add a little bit on that petal. Oh, I do, Jenny. That's a fantastic idea. Am I going? Oh, probably. Probably. When I can't sit right out. Oh, yeah. They're going uphill a little bit, but give this card to someone who's either not paying attention or tipsy at the time. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. Anyone that criticizes a handmade card is probably never getting another one. Okay, so add a few dimensionals to these little guys, ladies. This is Stampin' Up, Lisa. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I go live every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central. Okay, so this naughty little ladybug, who, Jenny, what did you say this one was doing? Smelling the flower? Okay, and then this one, if you notice when I did this, this little one is kind of, well, not little one, but this flying one looks like it's coming from the flower. Oh, it's so cute. So cute. A little smitten with it. Okay, let's try one of those flowers. The bunny butts. Bunny butts. There we go. Lisa, I'm not sure I understand your... Okay, so do Rep USA, I want them at Valentine bundle. I'm not sure what your question is. Oh, right. Oh my goodness, that was a superb idea. Okay, so we have the same card, kind of, two ways. They both look identical from the outside. So this one has the perennial center, or the bunny butt, and then this one doesn't. And then you open it, and that one says happy birthday, and that one doesn't. So cute, right? And it wouldn't take nearly as long if I hadn't been talking so much. So let's do the second card super quick. I just, no, unfortunately you cannot, Lisa, but Jenny, who's on here right now, is a U.S. demonstrator as well. So you can purchase from any demonstrator in the U.S. Demonstrators can only sell within their own market. So I can sell within Canada. Jenny, for example, can sell in the U.S. Let me grab a card. Matt. I think we're going to do it on Pool Party. So this is the one with the still scenes, the snow globe. I'm not going to do this one. I just need to trim this down. The only time someone in their market can sell to someone outside their market is if it's a PDF only, or I don't know if it's a PDF with a video, but you can't sell actual product outside of your own market. Okay, so we're done with the ladybugs. Let's move on to this Make a Splash. This one's going to take no time at all, because we're just going to do fishies this time. We're going to case the catalog. I wish this one was a two-step stamp, but it is not. So we're just going to do basically that one, except I'm not going to fussy cut or die cut because I've kept you long enough. So we're just going to do a couple of these fish swimming in different ways. So we need 3 blocks. Light one out. And we need a block for that one. That'll do. Okay, I am going to do Mango Melody. Because the way my Mango Melody is inked up, it's actually kind of variegated and it's neat. No way, Nicole. That's fantastic. My website is stampedaf.ca. And all of the online classes that I do are available to demonstrators, customers, everybody. Oh, look how cute these fish are. This one looks kind of weird. It looks like there's part of the stamp missing, but I don't think so. Now, I think what I'm going to do is stamp off. And we'll have them get lighter as they go across. Totally just playing at this point. Whoops, almost forgot to stamp off. Not sure about that. Yes, Pam, they are. And my Mango Melody is the least juicy of all of my ink pads. That one looks great. Now, since I'm just playing, we're not actually making a card with this one, let's try Stampin' Write markers. So I am going to use terracotta tile and do the fins. And then Mango Melody. Look at us using Stampin' Write markers twice in one night. Okay, and then when you've got it colored, give it a huff. And there you go. Not the smoothest blend. Let's start with the light first. I have been surprised that there's really no samples using this set yet. So it'll be interesting to see what people come up with once they catch on to this. You could do any color of fish. Okay, I have been on for an hour and 10 minutes at this point. This card didn't exactly pan out the way I thought it would. I do think that you need to do some kind of blending with it. But I still have a couple of things I have to do for tomorrow night's live. So like I mentioned earlier, if you don't already belong to the Pretty AF group, just search it up on Facebook, PRETTYAF, all one word, and request to join. You'll be approved as soon as Tiffany and or I see it. And stop in at 7:30 p.m. Central tomorrow night and you will see me create 4 projects, not just cards, but 4 projects using the Bonanza Buddies bundle of products. And if you're not familiar with that, let me show you. You will also get the project sheet, so you can use it for classes, you can use it for whatever you want. So this is the Bonanza Buddies, or Birthday Bonanza Suite. So there's a great lion and toucan and koala bear, which makes me cry every time I see it, thinking about all those fires in Australia. And the colors and the DSP and the ribbon. The ribbon is fantastic. These little pom-poms are adorable. Everything about this is incredible. And spoiler, Kelly and I are going to be using that bundle for our February Creativity Without Borders. So if you haven't gotten your hands on that bundle and you can wait until February, you can purchase it with our tutorial or purchase it now and then you'll get some ideas come February. But that is all for tonight, my friends. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you'd like to join my team, send me a message. Celebration is always the best time of year to join. And, oh, that's great. I'm so glad you're all connecting. Yeah, and Lisa, if that doesn't help, if it doesn't work out with Jenny or Pam, let me know. I've got some demo friends in the US that I can refer you to. So, head on over, like my page, request to join my Stamped AF group, and that's all. Thank you for watching, Diane. So, I will do the drawing for these heart doilies, and next week, what are we going to give away? You know what? I think we will do a package of these little pom-poms, which are right here. So I will do the assorted pom-poms for next week. So share the video, come back and say that you've shared it, otherwise you won't be entered to win. And yeah, you can be entered to win those little pom-poms. So the ones from this week are these, since you can only see them in the plastic. White on one side, Flirty Flamingo, Real Red. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for watching, and we will see you again soon, my crafty friends. Bye.